So I just found out that I'm not hot. And this was based on a really humbling experience where I'm trying to get 4 men together to help me move a really heavy object from point A to point B. Not a far point A to point B either. And I can't do it. It can't be done. I'm in hell. I've tried for days, texting every man I know. Can you please come help me move this heavy thing? It's a piece of granite, by the way. I think we can use that as a gauge. Number 1, can you get a group of men to help you move a heavy object from point A to point B? Number 2, how far can you get them to move it? Because what I need is a piece of granite moved about 15 feet. Cannot gather 4 men to do that. Oh, I can't. I'm going to be hung over that day. Oh, I can't. Football is on. Wah. Number 1, they don't make men like they used to. Because how come nobody wants to be helpful? Little helpless old me? You want me to pick up the granite slab? Why? You're not being helpful. Number 2, I need to level up.
I'm sorry, but this is not telling of how hot you are. This is telling of how many men that you've placed in your friend zone. And it sounds like they all exited themselves without you even realizing. Because if you think that men are just going to give all of that effort, all of that time just because you're attractive and you're literally just sitting there and you're not reciprocating anything back, they are over that. They would rather have a true friend that they're putting effort towards, or they'd rather have somebody that's wanting to be in a real relationship with them. It's that simple. Stop trying to expect things from men when you're giving them literally nothing back.
Hey everybody, it's Modern World Emporium. Sorry for no intro today, but I think I'd want to change it up. So for today's video, we're going to be covering another one by Modern Dating here. And as we can see, we have a woman in her car or a bus, I'm not entirely sure. And she seems to be having a meltdown over the fact that she can't get 4 men to simp over her simultaneously and do her heavy lifting for her. This is honestly hilarious and pathetic simultaneously. And I think it is just great to see this kind of stuff happening more and more. Women are being humbled left and right because they are not as great as they think they are and as great as social media tells them they are. And it is hitting them very, very hard. For this video, I'd really appreciate it if you left a like and a comment as well. That would help me a lot. And if you can subscribe to my channel and to Modern Dating Here's channel as well. Let's continue.
Men not simping, it's a beautiful thing. Attitude, not looks. What happens when you friend zone everyone? Go hire a moving company. Can't imagine why they don't want to help her. We don't waste our time anymore. It's nice to see guys stop simping. They are wising up and understanding that there are little to no benefits being in that position, and it's evident that she doesn't like it. Now she either pays a professional or does it herself. She should have promised them some monetary gratification. It could have changed their mind. Since they have removed themselves from the friend zone, they won't do things unless payment is part of the subject, and this is a strategy she could apply to incentivize them. She is shocked to the point of making a video because this is something they would have done a while ago, but as things are no longer the same, they stop being people pleaser. They would help their girlfriend or someone they are interested in, so as she no longer falls into those categories, she can't enjoy these benefits.
So I just found out that I'm not hot. And this was based on a really humbling experience where I'm trying to get 4 men together to help me move a really heavy object from point A to point B.
It has nothing to do with her hotness. They have moved on, and that's why they are no longer willing to do things to please her. Nobody wants to be contacted only when someone needs something from them, and that's why they are no longer occupying that spot. But why didn't she call her boyfriend instead? He would be the best person to be contacted in this type of situation.
Well, I think the answer to that question is very, very simple. The reason she never asked her boyfriend is because she doesn't have one and more than likely never will. Women like this love to rely on men despite the fact that they claim to be independent and, free of the patriarchy and a man's grasp, etc., etc. We see it a million times in these videos. Yet for some reason, they always need a man's help with something, whether it's lifting or repairing or sometimes even very simplistic things as reaching something that's a little too high up on the shelf. And the very same women that shame men for every little thing humanly possible are the ones that are constantly requesting this type of help. Now, you see, she claims that this is a humbling experience and it really put her in her place to show her that she wasn't hot. And I feel like she really didn't need a humbling experience to feel that way. You shouldn't just assume that you're an incredibly attractive person, that everyone is willing to do everything for you, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder, first off, so everyone's going to perceive you a little differently. But at the same time, that's just really narcissistic and it's really stupid. And I think you can tell just by this video that this woman is very stupid.
Where the hell do y'all be finding these men that are obsessed with you? Good fathers?
Gonna sound harsh, but guys will agree. One woman's trash is another woman's treasure. You'll find us if you go dumpster diving. We've been discarded. You'll find the best boyfriends and husbands on the island of misfit, broken-hearted boys. Men are simple creatures. We're a lot like dogs. Like, picture a rescue dog at the animal shelter. They always make the best companions. They're always loyal, loving, appreciative. We're the exact same way. We did everything right, but we were discarded. So when someone finally comes along and picks us, we're just like, oh my god, this is fantastic. Good boyfriends and husbands are forged in the fires of evil exes. If you see a newly single girl wilding out in Miami on a girl's trip, just going crazy on her Instagram and Snapchat stories, look for her ex. He's alone in a cage somewhere, probably doing push-ups. You finally find that guy that moves heaven and earth for you and does everything that you've ever dreamed of. You have no one else to thank but that woman that ate his art and crapped it out like an In-N-Out burger. Nobody loves more than the broken-hearted.
Check the friend zone or X zone. That's where they are. Catch us at the grocery store or home. We're all in the friend zone together. Check the friend zone, but understand that has an expiration date. Like you said.
I think this guy definitely made a really, really good point here. A lot of the times, the quote-unquote good men that these women are looking for are simply being ignored because they're not attractive enough, don't make enough money, or they're not tall enough for the women that claim there are no good men left in the world. It's honestly hilarious, because if you really think about it, a man should really be asking that question instead of a woman. Why are there no more good women left? And that's simply because social media has utterly destroyed pretty much the female's realistic interpretation of reality. Women now are extremely delusional. You always hear about how women will use delusion and that is the solution to all their problems in life. And this shows each and every day in more and more women as more and more women adopt this ideology and mindset. And it's really fucking pathetic. Anyway, like he says here, you really want a good man, check a man who's been damaged by a bad ex-girlfriend. Because let me tell you, there's plenty of them out there, and there's plenty of good guys out there. You guys are just choosing not to see them.
Deep down, I think she knows where to find them. She is well aware that those nice guys in the friend zone are most likely to be a loving husband, men who would do everything to make her happy, but for some reason they were sent to that spot while she went after Chad. As the guy in the video mentioned, some of them are also working on themselves. They just got out of a relationship and are busy improving their lives.
When he started being too nice and asking how my day was.
If you go for the guy that treats you like trash because he's exciting, just remember that that man is not afraid to lose you. And that's because he doesn't really care for you that much. And you're never going to change that. So once you date a few of these guys, one after another, that's when you're going to look around and say, where are all the good guys? And I'm going to tell you, that good guy left your friend zone years ago to find his queen. I don't know about you, do what you want, but I'd rather be the queen.
In theory, you are 100% correct. Unfortunately, it's not in a female's nature to settle for a good guy. Good guys are good, not great. It is what it is. Why don't more women understand this? There's a reason most of y'all can't find a good man. It's happening to me, so I'm distancing myself, and now she sees it as I'm ignoring her. Later she will make another video asking for guidance on where to find a good man. Most of them claim that they want a good guy who is loving and caring, but things get interesting when they find them. This is the moment they start getting bored. I think due to the time they spend entertaining Chad and Tyrone, they develop a certain level of dependency on adrenaline only those guys can provide. And that's why they struggle when dealing with a nice guy who isn't looking for drama, a guy who works tirelessly to make his partner happy.
The classic, I'm going to date the shitty man and then claim that all men are shitty. We see this non-stop on this channel and various other channels like it, and it doesn't look like it's going to ever change at this rate. Women like this are addicted to the adrenaline rush and the excitement and the dopamine that comes with chasing Chad and Tyrone, getting banged by Chad and Tyrone, and then getting discarded by Chad and Tyrone, while all the good guys that they had lined up for this very event have all disappeared. And that's because they placed them in the quote-unquote friend zone, and then men are waking up to this type of behavior, realizing that they're not truly appreciated, and these women only care about them when it suits them best. And this is really, really sad and pathetic, and I feel very bad for the men that wind up falling into the trap at the end of the day and settling for them, because let's be real, it is the men who are settling for these women, not the women settling for these men. And I know a lot of women would probably argue that's not the case, but let's be fucking real here. Why would a man settle for a woman that's had sex with hundreds of dudes and just got done banging Tyrones and Chads nonstop, when he can go out there, find a nicer woman who isn't pretty much sleeping with everyone in the town, cares about him, and wants to take care of him, as opposed to some strong-headed loser who only cares about her career and sees herself as nothing but a goddess and him as a slave to serve her. It's really fucking pathetic, and it's why men are walking away.
They are not used to this type of relationship, and that's why some of them neglect it and then question his behavior when he starts distancing himself from that relationship. This is the moment they start to value the nice guy, but in most cases, it's a bit late. Those guys are nice, but they also have their limits and boundaries.
What do you think about your girl having a guy best friend?
My can't have no friends.
Okay, can you have a girl best friend then?
Hell no, I don't want no my friend.
Girl best friend sounds exhausting. Women think the first answer is controlling. They also think the second answer is a king. Make it make sense. She wasn't expecting that second answer. We keep it real. Pretty much on point. Why would you want a girl as friend? There is a valid reason he gave those answers. As a man, he knows what it means to be a woman's friend. He knows that most guys who claim to be her friends aren't really friends. They want to position themselves in that spot as a strategy to be close to her and wait for an opportunity to be her boyfriend. This is the strategy some simps use to get the women they want, and most boyfriends know this strategy, and that's why it's an uncomfortable situation. Also, when he mentioned that he is not interested in female friends is because he isn't willing to be nobody's backup plan. He knows that most women want guys in the friend zone so they can benefit from free attention and validation, and this is just a waste of time and resources. Those who consider themselves to be a simp will be happy to accept that position, but those who know that they can do better will always reject that offer, as it's better to spend their energy trying to find another person who shares the same interest.
Please tell me why every man has the answer to literally absolutely everything.
Because in a lot of situations, if we don't, nobody will. Just because you don't know how, doesn't mean you can't. That's so simple. It's because most of us have to do things for everyone our entire lives. Even when we don't know it, we will find a way to get it done. So this is the reason we are able to figure out almost everything.
I think my favorite part about the original answer that he gave in that video was that he truly did not care about anything she had to say. He knew straightforward that the second he said his girlfriend couldn't have a male best friend, that they were going to flip their shit, and he didn't care. And then they thought they were going to pull a gotcha on him and say, oh, but let me guess, you can have a female best friend. And he said, abso-fucking-lutely not. And once again, blew her mind. Her tiny little brain evaporated into little tiny particles, and that's about that. So what he means here is that he just doesn't want to deal with a girl best friend as well, and we all know why. Women will oftentimes pair up with men and call them their friends and use them as nothing more as an emotional support napkin. They'll use men whenever they have a bad day, whenever another guy uses them, whenever another guy bangs them and then discards them, and you will be the mop that soaks up all the tears that she cries, and he knows that, and he is not fucking having it. Good for him. And then on top of that, he says his girlfriend can't have a male best friend. And let's be real. If a guy and a girl are best friends, there is clearly some kind of underlying feelings or some type of sexual tension between the two, and it is just best off to not allow a situation like that to continue on. He knows this. He's probably dealt with it. And I feel like a lot of men, especially men who are a little bit older, like the guys who watch my channel, have experienced this at some point, and they know what's going to happen if you allow it to happen. And that's why I think his answer is pretty good. And so with that, we're going to cut the video here, guys. Thank you so much for checking the channel out today. Please like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. Drop a comment too. I think that would help me out a ton as well. And go give Modern Dating Here a like, subscribe, and some comments on their video as well. Anyway, I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. And remember, I appreciate all of you for watching my content, and peace.